Everybody, welcome back once again to Photoshop Elements TV. Now, in today's lesson, as I'm sure always the title gives it away of the video, I've had a lot of email questions and a lot of people posting to me on Facebook asking what is the difference between the healing brush tool and the clone stamp tool. They're very much, in different ways, they're very much interchangeable, but in other ways, they are very, very different. The first thing, for little touch-up jobs, we can use something like the healing brush tool. So it's called the spot healing brush tool. Okay. And down at the very bottom, you can see here where there's two different things: spot healing brush tool, and there's the healing brush tool. So the spot healing brush tool just does just that, right? We can remove items. And what I mean by that here is we're going to increase our brush size using the right bracket key. And I could just simply click on top of this bird flying here. And you can see where Photoshop Elements will remove that very easily. I can click again. Click again. And you can see I can remove whatever birds I want out of this shot. Clean it up and make it look very, very interesting, right? Just by removing some of the birds. So what we're going to do here first is we are going to reset or revert back, put our birds back in there. Now if we look at the other one here, the other one is the healing brush tool. So why is the healing brush tool so much different? Well, let's see what it does. Let's open our brush size up here, click once. Now it says you have to click an option to define a source point to be used to repair the image. So we need a source point. So by that, you have to hold down your Alt key and you get that little bullseye. Left click and take a picture of that. Now you can go over. You can see how we can cover it over with our mouse and how it covers that. Because now we're taking a shot of that cloud, right? Be very careful because with different lighting, you'll find that you can actually overexpose a certain area just by changing it. So in other words, what I mean is it's pretty light down here on this part of the picture. And if we go at the top here, the sky is a little darker. So what happens is, let me see if we can do this. We can already see this not blending in, right? So if we color that, it's not bad, but there's going to be times when it's going to be overexposed and it's going to be too light. So what I like to do is always take a sample, holding the Alt key down, the closest to whatever you're trying to cover up. So I take a picture of that, come over and I click. There you go. So that's the difference between the two. The one you just simply brush over. The other one you're going to actually take a sample. Now, what you're going to see here is the clone stamp tool. You can see down here at the bottom now we have clone stamp tool and we have a pattern stamp tool. Now, to be honest with you, I never used the pattern stamp tool, but the clone stamp tool, if we open this up and we come over here, we're going to close that now. It's a little bit too big. If you're clicking on that, we can actually click. And what it's doing, it's sampling the outside. So it works almost like the healing brush tool. But I got to click more times to cover something up. All right. The pattern stamp tool is going to work the same way as before, except we can use patterns and stamp with patterns. See, I don't know why you'd want to do this, but you might come up with a reasoning for doing so. And you can see we can do a pattern stamp. So maybe you just want to make a very interesting picture and you want to use the pattern stamp tool. So that is the differences between the healing brush tool and the clone stamp tool. Here's the clone stamp tool. And again, with the clone stamp tool, it works just like, or I would say really, it works just like the healing brush tool, where we're going to open this up. I use this for very large areas I'm fixing on pictures. And I take a sample, again holding the Alt key down, hitting the left mouse button. And I just simply click over where I want to remove an item or remove something from the picture. So I hope that helped you understand a little bit about those two different tools. Thanks for everybody asking and all the questions coming in. I do appreciate that. Remember, if you're watching this anywhere else on any of the other channels on YouTube, pop on over to Photoshop Elements TV, and I'll have a link with it down below this video. And you can click there, go over to Photoshop Elements TV, and subscribe there also. I know you're probably subscribed to 42 Technoman. I enjoy that site, but it just got a little too many videos on too many subjects, and I'm trying to drill back and just make a Photoshop Elements channel. So check it out. Once again, Photoshop Elements TV. Thank you so much. I hope this helped you, and I will talk to you next time. Bye bye for now.